Afternoon, yeah. It's after 12 here in Cape Town, and I'm just going to give an update of some happenings here from the experience in Cape Town today. Obviously, in relation to the whole coronavirus, but so this morning I decided I'm going to do a check on myself. I wasn't showing symptoms, nor do I have the symptoms of a general, you know, example of someone that has the virus. But I've been around quite a few business people over the last 2 weeks. Um, so I took a drive down to the closest hospital. So I essentially called a doctor, a friend of mine, and he advised go to Kingsbury Hospital in Claremont, and just go down to the casualty ward. There'll be someone there. Fill in a form, and they will guide you from there. So I'm going to give you the breakdown, the 411 of what transpired, so that if you decide that you want to check or you don't feel 100% and you are concerned and show the symptoms, then this is kind of what you will go through. So I left home at about 8 in the morning, got there shortly after, and walked over to the casualty ward at Kingsbury and filled in a pathcare type hospital form as well. If you have minor symptoms, the Kingsbury Hospital basically just essentially discharge you and move you straight over to pathcare. If you had more major symptoms, more than likely then you would go into the hospital and be checked first, because I know one or two people who were around me went into the hospital, and myself, I was basically told to go over to pathcare. So filled in the form, private information, where you stay, who are you in contact with, next of kin, family, what do you do, the usual, and contact details, and any previous medical history. And after that, they discharged me a few minutes later, and then I just took a walk over to Pathcare, which is just on the premises or next to the premises of Kingsbury Hospital. And when I got to Pathcare, there was about maybe 50 or 60 people. Yes, 50 or 60 possibly when I got there, waiting in the queue or sitting around as well, waiting to obviously have the test done that Pathcare does. Okay, so let me just set the scene. Essentially, it's almost like a little playground in size, not too big, not too small. People sitting in all different corners, and in the middle, standing, walking around, restless. Some sitting, and all ages. There were people from the age of, let's say, plus 60, down to moms and dads with their kids, who were perhaps, let's say, from 3 to 5 years old. Unfortunately, some of these kids were coughing quite a bit, and showing signs of, well, the virus. But the rest of the people were quite chilled, and there wasn't much coughing and sneezing, not much. And when you get to Pathcare, a lady comes out from inside, and she sticks a number. Where is this number? A little sticker with a number on your top. So if you can make that out, I was number 83 today. So there was about 50 or 60 before me there. Well, seems like it's more like there was 70 odd. But I came over at a similar time with a group of about 10 or 20 people. So yeah, forgive me there. So yeah, when I got there, we became a bigger number. So they give you a number, and then there is a checklist as well. The checklist is basically, did you fill in the form at the hospital, or do you have a GP's referral letter? You need to have a mask on, and you need to keep the mask on thereafter for 24 hours. Um, yeah, I've got a funky mask of my own, which they said was okay as long as I put on the normal little blue and white mask that everyone is buying or everyone has. I don't have it with me here now, but I had it underneath for to comply. And the other thing was what else was it? Well, they basically said you'd wait for about 2 to 3 hours to be checked. Um, so essentially, the people before me were going in groups of 5 to 10, and they would then call you in groups of 10, plus minus. So eventually, obviously, they got to my number after waiting about 2 hours. It wasn't that long. I went for a bite in the meantime. There's a restaurant directly opposite Kingsbury Hospital. And then when I got inside, they basically, they call you to the desk. You got to confirm your address and your contact details. And then obviously you got to pay them. So Pathcare charged me about 990 rand for the actual test. So it's not free and it's not cheap. So don't just think it's free. If you're going to go to Pathcare, you're going to have to pay. And then you can pay cash or with your card, so that helps. In the queue, just before I paid, there was quite a few people, obviously about 10 of us. And in that group, some were in Italy, some were in Germany, some were specifically in Milan. And she was telling me a story of they were there and it was a group of them and now they're here. So yeah, let's just be positive and hope for the best. And that group were in for obviously testing. There was another couple as well. They were just after me. Basically what happened with them is they're both teachers at a school, and the wife, basically she's a music teacher. And what happened to her was a father and a child had come back from a trip overseas from Canada, and the father basically the child was showing symptoms, and so was he, but they decided to go to the school concert nonetheless. And the child sat on this woman, the teacher, and he was coughing and sneezing. And this was now about a week ago, she said. So yeah, come to yesterday, her throat was sore and swollen. She was struggling with breathing. She had diarrhea, and she was feeling a bit sick. So you can make of it what you want. It's not confirmed yet, but she has the symptoms of, you would say, the virus. So that's responsible from the parent, obviously, and to let the child now obviously go to the concert. But nonetheless, that was their story. And then there was another German couple who have been here for 2 weeks, and they've been traveling, but now they can't leave, and they've been with a group of travelers from all over the world. So they wanted to basically come for testing. And there was one other couple. It was 2 American parents with their 4 kids. They've been here for a week. They came here on a holiday. They living in Hout Bay, and unfortunately they can't leave because their consulate hasn't given any guidelines as to the procedures and what is going to happen with them and how and when. So they're stuck here, and they needed to come have themselves tested as per the consulate, and also because they are tourists and they were with a tour group. So there's many scenarios here and different kinds of people and ages and experiences they've had, and it's worrying in a way because they're all around you. Some are coughing, like I said, mostly the kids, but you don't know who is who and what is what, so you kind of just hope for the best and secure yourself and protect yourself as best you can. So nonetheless, after I paid, the lady just walked you through to a little room, lab, whatever you want to call it. They basically tell you just to take off your mask and gloves if you have it on as well. and they then do a twin swab test on you. One, basically open your mouth and they push it to the back of your tongue, and the other one they tell you to tilt your head back, and but like a probe, they push the little swab test quite deep into your nasal cavity, and they just, yeah, you know what, and that's it. They then obviously package it and send it away to the Pathcare lab for testing, and hopefully you, like I, will get an answer in the next 24 to 48 hours as to why am I still wearing the mask. I am alone. In my little motorhome gizmo, and I'm just isolating myself for 24 hours, as suggested by the Pathcare team. It's not a must, but it's suggested because you were around people that could have the virus. So yeah, I'm just keeping it clean, staying away from the fam bam. I'll probably reconnect with them in the morning. So yeah, I thought, yeah, some insight, some help. I hope it does benefit you in your thinking or planning, or one, perhaps people didn't know what happens exactly with how the testing works. If this video you feel is unnecessary, then so be it. But I just thought if I could help someone in some way just understand the procedure, then job done. All the best out there, South Africa, Cape Town, my home, and guys and girls and kids and elderly, go strong, be safe, and yeah, let's overcome this together, and let's try and stay at home, perhaps the best thing I can say. Signing off.